Welcome, welcome, hello, and welcome to Beauty Pioneers. We have the lovely Miss Dawn Ferguson. And wait a minute, I was gonna do my thing. Hold on, wait, let me get my glasses on. Hold on. Let me I always forget to do this. I'm supposed to do the thing. Okay. We have the lovely Dawn Ferguson.
Woohoo! Let's applaud. Thank
And
you.
of course, myself, coach or consultant Lee Hill.
Yes.
Yes. And so, as we were actually getting on the live, Don and I was having this discussion, and it is always the battle of it's two things we want to talk about: women investing in themselves, especially our women investing in ourselves, understanding what that looks like, and we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, the usual, where women are saying, why do we have to pay so much? And so Dawn was breaking down why she think hairstylists charge the prices that they do. And I agree with her. But I also agree with the client as well, because it depends on to me, it depends on the service, and it also depends on the hairstylist. And my thoughts is the fact that if the person that you're going to is, if you're going to, like I always say, you're going to Kiki in the hood and you getting a quick weave or whatever, then no. I do understand why you want to know why you're paying $400. Kiki was late. She arguing with a man, all those different things. I get it. So yeah, I would feel some kind of way too. However, I feel like if you're going to a continued, educated, licensed professional hairstylist, then I think that you have to take things into consideration. Don, what do you think? You can let them know, and we're gonna go ahead and pop up some videos. But what do you think again? Let the audience know.
When it comes to receiving beauty services, there's a lot of confusion. So I can understand why the public is confused, because when you go in to have your nails done, you want your nails beautified. When you go in to have beauty services or your hair done, you're going in with the intent that your style is going to be the bomb.com. You're really not thinking about the overall protection of your hair. You're going in thinking about the actual style. How is my hair going to look when I come up out of here? Right. So that's, whereas other ethnic groups, when they go in and receive beauty services, they're not concerned about the style. They're concerned about the color. So they're going in and their value is different than ours. We're focused on the aesthetics, whereas they are focused on the skill set and the science behind the style. Can she color my hair correctly? Can she place in these highlights? And we all know that color and highlighting is the meat of cosmetology. This is where your money lies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in it's not in the aesthetics of wig placements and things like that. Wig placements, if it's a medical prosthetic wig, yes, it's a medical reason if it's tied into the application of the unit.
Right.
But if you're just a wig installer, there's no value to that. You're just putting on the wig, wig maker, wig installer, braider. Yeah, it's a specialty license or a specialty certificate, and that's all you are doing. You shouldn't be cutting the hair if you're just installing the unit. If you're just installing the unit, you shouldn't be cutting the hair. You shouldn't be blow drying the hair. You shouldn't be applying products to the hair. You shouldn't be styling the hair at all, because you're not licensed to do so. Those type of beautification practices are for those that are licensed. So there's a gray line that they cross in terms of these are people that want to get into the beauty industry because it's very lucrative. It's a lucrative business, so they jump in on the aesthetics part of the industry as opposed to the science part of the industry. Those that go to cosmetology school, they're focusing on the science part. How can I protect this client's hair? Yes, I can put on a wig install, but at the end, when I put on this wig install, am I protecting the client's hair underneath? Right? Okay. Yeah, that's the goal, because yes, I do a wig install, but I'm also cutting the hair. I'm styling the hair. I'm blending the hair to, her leave out to make sure it looks naturally coming like out of her head. That's the whole
Right.
purpose of when we put in installs, is for our hair to look as natural as possible. It should never ever look like you're wearing tracks or installs or a wig. Everything should be seamlessly and effortlessly beautiful. That's the beauty industry. So it's that gray line where the consumer just doesn't know. And if this person, if they can style well enough, and they're, like she said, if their marketing is great enough in terms of social media, then the consumer only believes that the person is actually can actually perform such services. But
Right.
not all is true.
Now that you broke it down, honey. Shout out to that doggone Don, honey. Don't that sister right there. She gonna let you know the reason why she feel the way she feel, honey.
Yeah.
And the reality is that everything you're saying is true. I think I'm just want to clarify. So you're saying if they are not a licensed cosmetologist, they should not be even cutting the hair?
No, in order for you to cut hair and apply, in order for you to use sharp implements on a customer or on a person, you must be licensed. When you look up the word cosmetology or cosmetologist, okay, you are licensed to use sharp implements on humans, okay. So you're as a licensed if you're not a licensed cosmetologist, you're not allowed to cut the hair, and they know it.
Woo-woo.
They know it, but it's one of those loopholes that they don't talk about. Like, I'm not going to inform. When you go to the nail shop to have your nails done, and you ask Cece to do your eyebrows, Cece is not going to tell you that she needs another license to do your eyebrows. She's going to take the money because you do my nails. Well, I'm already getting beauty services, so why don't you go ahead and do my eyebrows? And this is where you come in, and the clients receive 3rd-degree burns because the wax is too hot. Right? Your nail tech doesn't know the temperature that the wax should be. Your nail tech is not familiar with your skin type to know that you've already or maybe experiencing some type of irritation. Your skin is irritated, or you've experienced sunburn before she even go in and put this hot damn wax on your face. So I've experienced tons of that people come in to the salon to get services done, and they literally have burns from the wax being too hot on their face. Now just imagine you got to go walk around with burn marks on your face from your nail tech, and that's a lawsuit because she was not licensed to to wax you. But the customer doesn't know that. The customer is uninformed. They just want the service done. But your nail tech is not licensed to perform beauty services on your face. She needs a different license to perform beauty services on your face. So it's a unknown area in which people with no ethics, right? If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to go ahead and get this money. You like me, and you can very well tell the client, I'm not licensed to do that, and she'll say, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about that. I just want my eyebrows done." Right?
I want to speak on this, and this is where I love that you did that. You explained that very well, which I wanted to ask.
Thank you.
So this is where I play the devil's advocate, and where I think is the class,
That's
or
some
I
drink.
don't want to say the class, but it really is, because you have what is that? Nail techs that are estheticians that I know of that do the lashes and different things like that, right? And they do it professionally with the right adhesives and things like that. And you have the others that go, like you said, and they say, I'm not licensed. They say, I don't care, girl.
Right.
And they double the lashes, but they also use the quick weave glue, that black glue, for their lashes. And this is where the difference in the two, like you said, the ethics that people have. Because if I have seen women that have been infected with that black glue that they put on the lashes, like, oh, she infected me. I'm like, she used that glue that, what you call it, you probably were allergic to it, eye swole and different things like that. And so I think that I absolutely agree with everything you're saying, but I'm also agreeing that it depends on the education of the client, and it depends on how much they value themselves. So you can tell the difference. And and every time I'm on social media and I see someone coming out and they're complaining about the services, they from a whole different, they from the hood. I'm just saying it what it is. They're from the hood. Or they go to somebody and she only do it for this amount of this price. And then some of y'all complain about that. I'm like, I would not dare stand on my feet for 3 or 4 hours and charge $150. That's like crazy to me. You know what I mean? So I always think it's that. And even in the other race of people, those people that are like, oh, I would never pay that price. You're right. You're right. And we can tell that's a wig on your head. You understand what I'm saying? But I absolutely agree with you. I just wanted to break that down because, we are beauty pioneers and we're here to educate and enlighten the people so they don't go in. So now when you go into your nail tech salon and you see them say one moment and they got to go take somebody to the back because she want an eyebrow done, look around and see if the license is up there, that she's an esthetician or whatever, an esthetician or a licensed cosmetologist. And if she's not, then you already know. And you know the level of service. This is the other thing, the level of service you should expect. That's how I see it. So that was really, really good, Dawn. Shout out to Dawn. Miss Ferguson, and she on it today. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what I mean about the level of service. But first, I want to put this young lady up. Let me see where she is. She was annoyed. Is it this girl? Hold on. Let me break it down. Is it this young lady?
I feel like getting your hair done should not be seen as a luxury. I think it should be considered a basic need or necessity. But all the girlies are charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get the most basic hairstyle. And if y'all have ever gotten a sew-in or a quick weave, you guys know back in the day, a quick weave was supposed to be significantly cheaper than a sew-in. Well, now sew-ins and quick weaves are nearly the same price. And even if you want to get a ponytail install, now the ponytail installs are $100 when they used to be $50 to $70. Like, it is getting insane. Getting your nails done. Nails now, when you get a pedicure and a manicure, you're paying nearly $200 for a style that lasts not even a month. These are monthly expenses that accumulate, and you guys need to stop saying that these things should be seen as luxuries. No. This should be seen as self-care. This should be seen as pampering yourself, and pampering yourself should not be something that costs an arm and a leg.
So I'm going to speak on this because I had saw on the news where they were showing how barbershops are now closing because people are not paying the prices for the barbershop. And I was looking in the comments and they were saying, I remember when the haircuts used to be $15. I was like, yeah, but that was what, in the 90s, right? And even earlier than that, the 80s. And I was like, man, the reason why it's so much disrespect and there's so many people telling licensed professionals what they should be charging is because we have this bad, this is me personally, I feel like we have this bad batch of so-called hairstylists that do bad practices, that customer service is horrible. The experience of a lot of clients have gone to shits. And so because of those things, people are like, well, why are they even asking for that amount? Right. And it's kind of because of that. And I know, Don, we were talking about this earlier. That is the reason. So people feel like, and I had a good friend that was like, oh, they want to charge such and such. I said, that's normal. If you go to like a hair salon and it's different tiers, guess what? Different tiers, the junior, the haircut starts at $40. And he was looking at me like, what? I said, $40. And the reason why is because the people that are working on your hair, it is not for them. They just learned a hobby. They're not sitting at the house. They decided to trust the owner, come into the salon, whether on booth rent, they're paying booth rent, or they're on commission, and they are good at what they do. That's their expertise. So I hate, especially when I see barbers, because to me, we know barbers that get paid really well, but then I see some barbers that they should be working on celebs, but because they're in the hood and because they're with people who feel like that you should charge this amount and not go higher, that professional cannot go up because of the type of clientele that they have, or and their environment. That's really important. So one thing I'm gonna tell you that I did is that when I came into the industry, I watched way before. I grew up in Miami, so I knew how people, the conversations go. I knew why people was like, and I'm telling you, in the hood, we had women. I don't know how much you was charging, but I know girls that started their weave. I'm talking about back in the early 90s that was doing weave starting at 500. Pigtails, pinch plaits, and stuff like that. And then you may get a round away in the center and you still coming out spending about 800 because it's time and they're skilled. And guess what? They wasn't even licensed. So it saddens me because we have these, when that natural hair movement, I promise you, I think that was a big deal. When that natural hair movement kicked in and people were getting the license, their specialty license or certificate or whatever it was, they took that, as you said, Don, I'm a wig influencer. And so now they're going in and they cutting hair. They shouldn't be cutting hair. The experience is bad. You got to pay deposits. The client, the customer service is horrible. The stylist is late. The stylists come in with bonnets on their head. It's so many things that is why, to me personally, why clients feel like it's not a luxury. It's a necessity, and you shouldn't be charging an arm and a leg. But there are others of us that give exemplary service to our clients. We roll out the red carpet. We create the atmosphere. We use the top products on your hair. We are there on time, if not before time. We give you quality work. We use, like I say, quality products. And like I'm going to play a video with this young lady. We have a skills that a lot of things that you guys, services you're getting now, that's not a skill set. That's aesthetics. Braids and plaits is aesthetics. Adding a wig is aesthetics. It's just a design. It's design. It is not the other things that cosmetologists do that is implemented when we're doing your hair. It's different. And so it's hard constantly trying to explain that. And so for me, this is what I think, even when it comes to the men, the barbers, women barbers, I think that they should if they're coming out of beauty school, or if they're in the midst of losing clientele and they want to go up on their price and people don't want to pay, I think you should work on marketing. And I think that you should change the environment, because it can even be the salon or the barbershop you're in. Change the environment, change the people, and change the clientele. That's the only way to get out of that and leave the crabs in the bucket, and the people who mindset is, I'm only paying this, leave them there. Leave them there. And to me, that's the only way. Dawn, do you have anything to say on that?
As a professional who's put in the work, dear consumer, you don't get to tell me what my prices are, because you did not put into the work. You did not sit in the class. You didn't go to class. You didn't do the research on how to preserve your hair. When you go to the dentist, or when you go elsewhere to receive certain services, you don't tell, you may say, well, damn, that's just too high, or this is that and the other, but you still pay it, right? Because you need the services. So there's two things you can do. You can either pay it or don't pay it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I used to be like, oh my God, I'm going to lose clients because, I went up on my price, and, they're going to leave. For every client that I lost, I gained 5 more clients. Right. That valued my services. They valued the fact that I was putting in the work in terms of educating myself on how to protect their hair. Mm-hmm. My business propelled as an artist because I did the work. My clients respected me more because I did the work in terms of how to protect their hair. I offer styles and solutions to overall preserve, protect, and beautify their hair. They saw that I was doing the work. When I came in and I suggested X, Y, and Z to them, they did it and they saw the results from it. So that's how I began to build my brand. And I too struggled as a beginner in the industry because, I was doing haircuts for $25 because I was still practicing until I went in and I started investing in cutting classes. And she was like, when you go back, your haircuts need to be $25. And if you've been doing hair for X amount of years in the industry, you shouldn't be charging no $15, right, for a haircut. So I had to learn these things. And as I began to better myself in the craft, I didn't have an issue with clients paying me my price. Okay. Right. They would come in and they would receive a color, cut, and hairstyle, $250, and tip $50. They would come in, they would, I'm just doing a partial in the back and a shape up, $150. Or I no longer had challenges trying to explain my pricing to my clients because my clients valued what I was giving them because they saw the work, they saw the results. You know what I mean? Hey, Dawn, are you going to be here this weekend? No, I won't be here this weekend because I'm going up to Atlanta to take a color class, or I was always investing in my career. So when I came back and I implemented the prices, they were ready. I had some fell off, some found other stylists that they can afford, and they eventually came back and their hair was damaged and they said it. So it's up to you because people pay for what they value. People spend their time and their money on what they value.
Right. Period, point blank. And it's this saying that we used to say, and I say it to this day: people only help people that they see are helping themselves. So that's a valuable point, is that that's for me. I feel like when I was in the industry, when I was in the beauty salon, and they would come in there and I say, you got to come in for a consultation because I got to look at the hair. I don't want to be surprised. You got to come in. Let me look at your hair. Let me examine, see if you're even a candidate for the services that you're asking for. But not only that, I'm listening to what they're telling me, right? But the
Absolutely.
other part is you think you're interviewing me to see if I can be your stylist. I'm sitting here thinking, is this an asset or a liability? This person, and then I would tell them, hey, I think it's a girl, and I know the other stylists that may charge that price. I think that's your best interest to go that way. And one of the points you pointed out, Don, that I like that you talked about was installing wigs. And there's a difference between prosthesis wigs, prosthesis hair, and wigs, lace front wigs. Lace
Right.
front wigs in the hair loss community is cosmetic. It is not meant to be worn for months at a time. They
Right.
were not made for that. And then they have different prosthetic,
Prosthetic.
yeah,
Mhm.
wigs that are they may have polyurethane on them. They have to be customized because that person may only have loss in the top, and then depends on that client may be allergic to that. And another thing is the way that you may see on social media and you going in as a client to get a wig installation, that is not how we're taught to do wig installations. So the way that we learn how to do prosthetic hair, I don't know what's going on, hair loss clients, they teach us, they tell us when we go into training and into school, they tell us everything that you've learned as a licensed cosmetologist, throw it out the window. The way we color is different. The way they cut the hair is different. And some of the hairstylists I see, they have picked up, oh, you got to use these type of scissors to notch the hair and all these different things. And even the color. There's a way that you color a man's system, the product that they use that they don't know. And so the reason why I'm saying this is that me personally, if you're installing a wig, and especially if you're not a licensed cosmetologist, then I don't understand the prices that they're charging. And I agree with the client. Why am I paying all that when you're not even licensed? You're not even educated. You don't even invest in yourself. I got to come over here and, and it's nothing wrong with doing hair in your house, because my hairstylist does it in her house, but our house is set up personal over there. When I come through her door in the back, when I come through her door, the whole area is set up for a salon. She's there, she's on time, and the service it starts immediately when I walk through the door. And she schedules her clients accordingly. So the reason why, to me, and I'll say this again, the reason why you have a problem with the pricing is, number one, you don't want to invest in yourself as a client and invest and find a hairstylist that not only can do the same style that you're going to Kiki around the corner, but they're going to make sure that they don't compromise your hair. So they're going to have hair care, and they're going to be able to do the service. And when they explain to you and you see all the things that go into that, you'll understand why their pricing is that. Now, as far as Kiki done with the specialty license, I will not argue with you there. But again, that's your fault, because you don't want to invest in yourself. Just like you don't want just like the stylist you're going to that does not want to invest in herself. So you're going to get the service. And if they feel like, I did that, guess what? You're going to get that price. And that's on you. So they may start off and say, we got $50 special going on for quick weaves. And y'all run up there and do your hair and lay it. That's only for new customers. Then you come back and she tell you, well, baby girl, that's $250, $300. You flipping a wig. Because back in the days, quick weaves were $65. But guess what? We in 2026. Quick weaves are not $65 anymore. But guess what? The quick weave services that you're getting is destroying your hair anyway. So instead of complaining on that person, why don't you take a look at yourself as a client and say, what do I value? As Don was saying, I value someone that when I go in, that I know I'm going to be treated well. The atmosphere is clear of no drama and all of that. She's going to listen to my wants and my needs, and she's going to execute that service. Why do I trust her? Because of the fact I know I've watched her, as Dawn said, no, I got to go to courses. We take classes throughout the year. And I'm not in anyone's salon. Don is not, you get your own thing going. So, but we still understand we have to learn because it's different thing. And this whole thing with the quick weaves and that you send your weave in and they color it, it's the same color. Everybody, all y'all got the same color. You bleach the hair, it turn orange. All right. You bleach the hair, turn orange, and you put a color on top of it. Or you walking around with the honey blonde. That's not a technique. That's just what it is because they don't know. And so I fought both, but I definitely agree with you, Don. I did too much just now, Don. You got anything? Hey, Katie 3636. She said, hey, lovely ladies. Hello. Welcome.
Hi there.
And I did have a widget. I posted a poll. If any of you want to take it, it says, do you think getting your hair done is a luxury or a necessity? Raise cost, or should we lower the cost? And if you're on, and if you want to make a comment about it, go ahead as well. And you can go ahead and vote there. While we're doing that, hold a second. I want to show this next young lady. And this is what I mean when I talk about and with the services. Hold on, Don. Let's take it down.
Okay, that thing laid.
You did that.
I did.
Yes.
You like it?
I love it.
That's what's up. That's why you came, ain't it?
Yes.
Hey, keep on going. Go ahead and go around in a circle. So do you like it?
Yes, I do.
It's cute on you.
I will be back.
You will?
Yes.
Okay, look down for it. It's cute on you too. Keep on going. Yep. Keep on going. Stop. You could go around in a circle.
So for her, the service that she did, that type of hairstyle, it's a, what you call it? The helmet hairstyle, Don, a sculpted hairstyle.
Girl, that shit is ghetto as fuck. We gotta keep it real, okay? That is a ghetto ass motherfucking hairstyle. Period. Okay. And she is one of them kitchen beauticians and one of them hood hairstylists that could do hair or watch hair. Or I know how to lay some tracks. And I'm pretty sure that lady is bald headed up underneath there. And if she's not bald, she's headed to baldness because there's no way her scalp can even breathe underneath there. Okay. The reality of that hairstyle is just as delusional as the person that's wearing it and doing it. And we have to call it like we see it. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible ass hairstyle. And it's the most damaging hairstyle. She has tons of spritz in her hair that's standing up. Okay. That hairstyle is going to last at least a month, which is going to damage her follicle. Okay. There's no way that she's going to be able to clean her scalp because her entire scalp is covered. Her entire scalp is covered. So she has no way of cleansing her scalp for the entire time that she has this unit on her head. And I could just imagine the removal. And so this particular hairstyle is a definite no. Hell to the no. And it screams hood. It screams uneducated. It screams cosmetology dropout. It screams working on just the aesthetics of the beauty, not the science. I mean, she's not the hair is not even cut. It's not even blended.
Mm-mm.
You got an asymmetrical bob with feathers and stacks.
Two
You
different
know,
styles.
she has like 5 different styles within one style, and it's not even cohesive. It has, you know, it doesn't even go
Yeah.
together. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's not moving. It's not, you know, what's that feathered thing there on the side? It's not even layered. It's not blended. The cut is off. She just got the clean bob. That's the only movement. And that barely moved when she turned her head. This, you know, it's a straight up F. And you know, she probably in the back, what is it, Alabama?
I don't know what it is, but we're gonna go ahead and so
Good
Don,
night.
that's an F.
Girl's a fucking F. That's horrible. Girl, good fucking night. No, ma'am.
Y'all, this is my favorite word out here. I love for Don to say good night. Now
No.
y'all throwing y'all comments up. I see Laha 759. Unless you are skilled at doing hair and know what you are doing. Absolutely. Now this is, and they're talking about the pricing. And so Laha said it's a necessity. Okay. She says it's a necessity. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Who is this? I had to join. Hold on. Let me show this. I had to join in and say hey to my PGA glam ladies. Oh, that's is that Katie Ann?
Oh, hey, Katie.
I'm like, who is that? Okay. Hello. So Laha says it's a necessity. And so hold on. Who is this? Hold on. Oh, someone, who is this? Diverse One Gift 778 says, hello, all new to the chat. That was a test. What was a test? Diverse One Gift 778. You know, I try to be very political and, you know, say it, be kind. But that is why I have Don Ferguson. And let me tell you something. Because I see a lot of stuff popping up on the internet now, especially on YouTube. Y'all got to remember what Beauty Pioneers, what that stands for. That means someone is opening the door. When this is someone that carries a lot of weight, Dawn. That's why we connected so well, because she understands the industry. As you see, she's not afraid to say what it is. But the reason why I picked that video is because these are the hairstylists that you're complaining about. You're complaining about their prices. She was very proud of her work, you know. You see, and a lot of you, I'm going to be honest, a lot of you look the same. I was looking at, I was like, let me just put quick weaves and look at the hairstyles, and they all were the same. They had that swoop back, long, beveled curls, glamour, or the wavy hair look. And I was like, yeah, everybody look alike. And that lets me know that is definitely, you know what I mean? That, like Don said, that's an F, and we can tell you are not getting the education. So when you say, to me, it's a necessity when you go into someone like that. That's a necessity. You just need your hair done. But to be honest, me personally, everything is not a luxury to get your hair done, but there are certain services that is a luxury. You know, I had clients that had lost their jobs, and I said, hey, you know, whenever you have to do an interview or you're going out or whatnot, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do your hair on the house, right? Because that person needed that assistance. It could have been a client that never touched their hair. They only come to me every week and they get their hair done. So I understood that. But you can't come to me and say, I lost my job and I want me K-tips, which is infusion hair extensions. I want infusion hair extensions, and so I can go look for a job. No, that's a luxury. So I think that's how I see it. But I definitely understand some of you. But a lot of times, like I said, the people that you're holding accountable or you're frustrated with, and you're like, why is she charging that price? You're upset because you feel like if the price is that cheap and the service is the way it is, then you shouldn't be charging that price. That's how you feel. So, oh my gosh, Katie Ann got something to say. Oh Lord, I'm scared. I'm gonna put you
I
on the
mean,
screen.
do
Katie Ann.
you complain? All right, when we say, God damn, gas is high as hell,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Everybody's fussing about the price of gas, but we have to pay it because we need to get where we need to go. We all want to pay what we want to pay for gas, but we can't because gas is what it is. Groceries are expensive. We're all saying how expensive it is now to live, right? The cost of living has gone up. We are still adjusting post COVID. We were shut down for almost 2 years. So people that were coming out of that, the economy is coming out of COVID, still recovering from COVID. They are still adjusting from the prices and the loss during that time. So they couldn't just come right out and jack the prices up coming out of COVID because, of course, no
right,
one could afford that. So they eased the prices up slowly, but slowly, but slowly. So prices have gone up everywhere else, but our income has not gone up. So people are like, look, I can't afford to, I gotta choose between groceries and gas. Okay, I need groceries for the kids. I need gas to get to work. You know, my hair and my beauty services are the last. So everybody's negotiating on their beauty services. And I get it. Oh,
right,
I can't afford to get this done and that done. Okay, you just can't afford to get it. But you can't expect me to come down on my prices because you
right,
can't afford it. Right?
right.
I think the consumer gets it twisted because everybody complains and everything is so hard, from the I just had to buy 4 new tires. You understand what I'm saying? I just had to get my pool renovated. I just had to do this. I just redid my bathroom. So, I can't afford to, pay you this particular price. Well, I'm sorry.
But you're going out there
I'm
and get the
sorry.
seafood.
You have to find someone else.
Right.
I understand all of your financial woes, but when it comes to me and the services that I provide, I understand. I understand, but this is the price,
Yeah.
right? So no, I'm not gonna give you a discount because you had to buy new tires. I had to buy new tires too. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so what makes your problem much more relevant than mine? You understand what I'm saying? Because you still went and bought the Mercedes. You still went and had your nails done. You still went and did everything that you needed to do
Ooh.
before coming to me to try and negotiate on my particular services. So no, you don't get a pass. I've been doing hair way too long, and I would rather tell you bye than to sit there and negotiate my value. I'm not going to negotiate my value because you place your value where you wanted to place your value, and I'm going to place my value where I am. I'm providing you with excellent service. Okay, excellent service. I'm shampooing your hair. I'm whatever the service may be. I'm operating in the highest of altitude. Okay. I don't have an attitude. I'm very professional. You understand what I'm saying? No, you do not get a pass. No, we're not friends. This is a business transaction. And my friends pay more. No, I don't want to be, I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be friends because friends don't want to pay for your beauty
Right.
services. So
Ooh.
no,
Ooh.
I don't want to be friends.
Yeah.
You don't have to speak to me anymore. We don't have to. I'm nice, but I'm not stupid.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So Katie Ann says the hairstyle looks like something that you get from Elegant Beauty. Oh, that's right. They do hair in a beauty supply store, not from a stylist. Hood Salon 101.
Right.
Good night, as my friend Don says. Don, I agree. I approve that message that you said. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not negotiating anything. That's why I say people have to they have to pick their what's going on? Hold on. They have to pick their clients.
Yeah.
Just like you vetting me, I'm vetting you. I may not want to do you, and I may not be the stylist for you, because for the service that you're wanting, you know, and at the price that you're wanting it for, I hear people now. I do understand some of the stuff the ladies are saying. Like I told you, when I came back to Miami, I was in North Carolina doing hair, and when I came back to Miami, I didn't understand why people were not shampooing hair. I was like, what?
Because you're loaded with unlicensed, you know, people with just a braider's license, right? They didn't have a full cosmetology license. That's what I was saying when they water down the industry. People that jump into the industry, notice when the trend came, all this disaster and bad treatment and horrible, you know, all this hair loss, right? Okay. First, it was the licensed stylist taking the hair out with the relaxers. Now you have the natural stylists coming in, taking people's hair out with these horrible ass products that they're using on their hair. Right? Why are you using those products? Those products don't support the style. Right? You're a natural hairstylist, but the products you're using are 90% alcohol based.
Trash.
You understand what I'm saying? You're drying the client's hair out. You're giving them scalp disorders. You're not explaining to the stylist or the client that this style is just temporary. There's no style or hairstyle that's supposed to last you past 72 hours. Did you hear that? Past 72 hours. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but no one is explaining this to the consumer. If we educate the consumer will now say, oh, you know, that does make sense. When I explained this to my clients, they understood that. They stopped asking me, Dawn, how long is this hairstyle going to last? Now they finish the question. They finish it. Dawn, I know it's not going to last that long. I just need whatever. No, your style is a weekly style. You know, it's a luxury to go to the salon every week. No, that's where she puts her value. The client that puts her value in having her hair serviced every week is the client that wants a manicure every week. Right. I love that. What I'm saying? Right. Yeah. So it's where she placed her value.
That's so good. Yeah. And believe it or not, this is a prime example. I'm so glad you brought that out, Dawn. This is clear. A lot of you don't value yourself. One of the things that she said is that your hairstyle shouldn't last more than 72 hours. So guess what that means? If it doesn't last 72 hours, that means I got to wash it. Oh, no. I need this hair in here for at least 3 months. Okay. So you're walking around with a Gucci bag, as you say. You know, you don't have to pay, you know, Gucci is Gucci. They built their brand, right? You walk around Gucci, you wearing your outfits, you got, you know, everything going on, but you're
with a dirty scalp.
With a dirty funky scalp. Nobody want to lay next to you because your hair stinks.
And it stinks.
Wash it.
It stinks.
Ooh, it stinks, baby. Trust me. All right. Keisha says, hey, ladies, just tuning in a little late. How are y'all doing this evening? As you can see, Dawn is on fire.
Hey, Keisha.
You can see that. Next, Katie 36 says, exactly. My daughter wants to get her braids in for back to school, and the price for the box braids are $50 more than before. I can either pay it or find someone who may mess her hair up. Exactly. It's like I saw this. I'm going to show this lady. Y'all going to be shocked. And I like to expose it because I know people are like, I wouldn't pay that price. And I always tell them, what you won't pay for, it's a whole world of people that won't even flinch at that price.
Right.
There are people that if they come into your salon and you tell them, they say, I need a color. I never forget this happened to me. I was like, whoa. And that's when I knew I was at a certain level, not to not to like blow myself up, but I remember going into a salon.
Big up yourself.
Huh?
Big up yourself.
All black salon. And I came in, I was in North Carolina. And I never forget, because it was weird. I hadn't seen people do hair in houses. That was I seen it, in the hood, you go to their house and do it, but they got salons that are houses, and they have it in Homestead too, by the way. And so I was like, hi, I need a color. And they were like, you want a rinse? I was like, no, at the time I needed a color because I had like this short concave bob. And I said, no, I need a permanent color. Dawn, it was 6 of them. They was like, and these were ladies that were 40 and up. And that let me know that, whoa, we got to do the work. Beauty pioneers, that is what it's about. It's not to knock the people, but you got to call it what it is. What Dawn is saying, it's factual. She's not saying anything to tear our community down. It's actually to lift you up. So don't get offended. Hit dogs holler. Don't get offended. Just take it and say, you know what? I need to do better. Because going on social media, that's for the client as well as the hairstylist. And I always play the devil advocate because I understand the clients. But if you want the service you want, you're going to have to pay the price. Because people like myself and Dawn, we are not going to be sitting there negotiating anything. I'm like, what? No, we're not doing that. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, no ham, no turkey, no cheese. Let me see who else. New comment. Oh my God, that is so true. Laha says that looks like a ghetto ass hairstyle from the movie Baps. LOL. That really does. She hit the devil on the head with that. I don't know what's
going on. That is horrible.
That was her. Dawn. Keisha, you just came on. You should have watched Dawn. Precious Lamb. She went in.
Girl.
Let me see. This one's on. Hey, look, Keisha. Hey, Dawn. I will have to catch the replay. Girl, Dawn cut up. She cut up, but unnecessary.
I just stated the fact.
Right. Hold on. Let me see this one. Hold on. Show. I don't know why I think she'll act that. I'll pay the extra for good service for her hair. Yes, that is from Katie 3636. So it's very weird to me that you come into a salon and they're charging extra to shampoo. Because I got the people that will come in on the comments. It's not wash, it's shampoo. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. But they're charging extra to shampoo, which in the salons I've worked in the salon I had, that was included. So if I did a chemical service, it was mandatory that the person paid. Guess what? It was mandatory for you to get a deep conditioner. Why? Because I just did a chemical service that reformed your curls. So I need that you have that, because I don't want you at home calling me saying my hair is shedding or my hair is breaking out. So that was included in the price for relaxers or perms, chemical services, right? So my point is, so if I'm doing that, that means I'm not going to, so wait a minute, let me think about this. That's probably why, I just thought about it, Dawn, why they're charging people if they want a shampoo, because they can't do that. They don't want to do that service because that requires them to blow dry, and then that's going to cut in their time for the other 5 heads that they booked on the same time frame. So that's the biggest reason, I assume. All right, we got another video. Here we go, y'all. Tell me what you think.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't gonna address this, but you guys keep on asking me why my wigs are so expensive. And only the people that recognize real quality do not question that.
So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this woman and how she charges $10,000 per wig, which I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy, but I can't even knock her hustle for real. I am in no way a weaveologist. I am not a weave specialist, whatever you want to call it. But looking at her work is not better than a lot of work that I've seen that is under $1,000 or maybe even a little bit over $1,000. In my personal opinion, I just think she does a really good job of using big words and she has the right clientele. Like, this is her work.
This is just her first try on, and we haven't done any adjustments on it yet.
And this is not to throw any shade at all. If anything, is letting you know that it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. And just because you are in a very competitive market doesn't mean that you cannot make no money. You have to understand that this woman scaled wig business to the point that she can literally have 10 clients, bro, per month and make $100,000. If she has 100 clients, she can make north of $1 million. She ain't trying to be Ross of hair. She trying to be Christian Dior, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton. I believe her work is done out of New York, and we already know New York is very lucrative in the amount of money you can make. So if there's anything I would say to anybody watching this, whether you do hair or any other type of business, if you are at the right place at the right time, you have the right client, and you do business the way you like to do business, I truly believe that you can make money like this too. We talk about the economy and how it's hard to make money, bro. People are spending money, a lot of money. If there's anything that she has taught me is that you can make money. You don't even have to be the best. You just have to find people that's willing to spend with you. And as much as people say $10,000 is a lot, there are people out there willing to spend that shit. So instead of complaining, man, find a way to scale your business, especially if you have talent. You may not be for everybody, but somebody will be for you.
I mean, I said it. Even the people who, there's a guy that does haircuts, but it includes, he like scrubs the hair, he massages the customer, the scalp, he detox the scalp, he cleanse the beard, he detox the beard, he does his thing, and his haircuts start at $400. Errol, I think his name Errol, he's on social media, and I don't see anything wrong. Again, people, if that's not, this is my thing. Don't even take to social media. Don't even go and, like he said, knock someone's hustle, because I just said it. I didn't watch the whole video, but I knew I wanted this video to come on. I just said it is the fact that what you won't pay for, there are people that love the fact that they're wearing $10,000 wigs on their head. You may not understand it, but I understand it. It is for hairstylists. It is so important that if you're going into the beauty industry, if you are just coming out of the beauty industry, that you have a set plan and a mindset and understand that you don't just have to be behind that chair. But if you love being behind the chair, find your niche and scale it. And for those that say, oh, that's too much, I understand. There is a hairstylist that is for you. It's no shade. But I put these videos on not to even throw shade, but to let you guys know the economy, like he said, is doing bad. People are still spending money. They're not affected. The rich not affected by this. If someone comes in with a certain, for instance, what he said, 10,000. I worked in a salon in West Palm Beach. I'm not going to say the name of the salon, but that salon had celebrity wives come to that salon. They were Caucasians, they were Black, and the services that she made the most money off was color and the tape extensions. That's when tape extensions was like really, and I still love tape extensions. And there's not one head that I did that was under $2,000, and they were buying wigs, human wigs. They were buying the wigs. She was installing them, or and doing the color process, or she was doing the tape. And the tape, when you're doing tape extensions, it's different things that come with that. They may want highlights. They may want lowlights. They want dimension. They want sun-kissed highlights, different things. So we got to match that hair color, and it came in all rare colors, as you see, and you had to match that. So you had to get that client's hair to the hair of the commercial hair, the tape extensions. There is things that is going on, and they want to know, what kind of color line do you use? Who are you using? People like that, they don't take to social media. They don't even discuss it, to be honest. And it doesn't mean that they're better than you. That just means that they understand the value. They put value, as Don said, they put value in their appearance. They put value in their care. And as I keep telling you guys, the beauty industry is a $1 billion industry. But guess who pays the most? You guys, the Black women. And you know why? Because you're so busy saying, I'm not paying that. But every 2 weeks, a lot of you go in and go buy some more hair and put that in your hair, and y'all go and y'all complain, but you're constantly spinning. So you're actually the people that they love. So the other people that are getting those extensions, they get the extensions, right? Let's say I'm talking about the tape extensions. They get that service done, and guess what they do? They come back in a month. Guess why? They're washing their hair. Their color is going to last to a certain time. When they see the grays, they have their appointments already set up. They don't leave unless they have their appointment. And guess what? They pay for their hair. Or if they get a touch up, if the tape, when they come in at the tape, it's somebody may have oily skin. It can be a number of things. But what I'm telling you, they don't flinch. What will make them flinch is those same ladies came into that salon and they said, and I said to them, oh, you want tape extension? You want the full head? Okay, that'll be $350. She said, okay, one moment. She would leave. Because she would say either the hair quality is bad, the color quality is bad, and she doesn't know her value or her worth. So they would leave. And I'm not just talking about other race. I'm talking about Black women that came in there as well. They would not even think about the things that you guys are arguing about. They would not think that. So he's absolutely right that they're paying for a service. It's a normal thing. Don, you have any words?
People pay for what they want.
You said it.
They pay for what they want. And if you continue to give in to bad services, there's no one to blame but yourself. Mm-hmm. So you have to ask yourself, what is it do I want? Do I want the style? And a lot of us made decisions based on we want the style. So us wanting a particular style is what led to the excessive hair loss that we have today. The cheap hairstyles, the braids, mm-hmm. the leaving the extensions in, or your sew-ins in for months. You know what I mean? The protective styles that weren't protective styles. We have to consider where we are right now as a culture and how we got here. And we got here based on these horrible practices that we did to ourselves. Now the new generation is with the lace front. The lace fronts were for stage.
That's right.
That's what the original usage was. It was for stage. And a lot of times we tend to take the stage into the street as opposed to being our true self. When I see women with all this cover-up hairstyle, I ask myself, what are you hiding from? Mm-hmm. Like, what are you hiding from? Because it's really a mask. When you take this helmet and you put it on, it's really a mask because you tend to buy into that particular personality. They'd be like, okay, well, who are you this week? Well, I had that quick weave last week. I had that pixie last week. I want the bob this month. Mm-hmm. Right. So they have like 12 different hairstyles that they carry through or select throughout the year, not realizing the damage and the stress that they're putting on their own hair. And what I learned in cosmetology school from my cosmetology teacher and my mentors after that, is that if you focus on the care and the integrity of the client's hair, you will have a client for life. And my clients now are like, Dawn, why aren't you doing hair? I share some of my story with them as to why I can't do hair. the doctors ordered me out of the salon. The salon became a biohazard lab for me.
Mm.
I am allergic to numerous of products within the salon. So that's me myself after years of being in the industry. So just imagine constant use of this particular adhesive on your hairline. It's for people that don't have a hairline area, is why this prosthetic piece was created. So we tend the hood, oh, this looks good, because JJ or can go in the hood, and you can go to him, and he can turn you from being a man into being a woman. We all know that guys in the hood, that's the fastest way to hide your disguise. Run in the hood and have them put on this lace front, because the police around here looking for a man, not realizing that the man is sitting on the porch, but he just got on a lace front. So
Don,
we
you
all
telling my secrets.
right. So hood secrets is that swoop down in the front and the different styles and the cookie cutter look that everyone has in the community. Is like you can tell, right? From
Yes.
the lashes, they all have a look. The hood has a look, starting from the lashes, starting from the lace front, and the blonde must complement your skin. It's nothing like it's like when I see the dark skinned girl with the blonde hair, and I'm like, it's not the right blonde. I get it.
Right.
I understand the power of blonde, but it should have a natural blend into your skin tone. But it's always it's never that gracious flow when it comes to beauty. That's how you can tell it's not the correct origin. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you have stacks with feathers, with layers, and the bob.
And the bob. About 4-5 hairstyles in one.
Right. Because you was trying to figure out how to blend this on this side. You only got this side straight with the with the clean cut bob. Mm-hmm.
She had salt and pepper. She had the what's her name, Bob? Kelly Rowland bob on the bottom. Stacks and stuff. That's what she had.
Yeah, 4 hairstyles in one.
Yeah, please. Good night. So Keisha says they don't want those Pookie prices. No, they do not want the Pookie price. They be looking like, I'm sorry. Okay. And then they'll start asking questions. And when they start asking questions, they're like, oh, okay, so this is not for me. People do not be with the foolishness. I be trying to tell y'all. Hold on.
But why not choose a realistic style? That has always been my thing with them. Like, the reason for going to the hair salon is not for the style. It's the stylist is to help you manage your hair, right? But no one selects a hairstyle that makes sense. I want a hairstyle that's gonna last a month.
Oh no,
that's not a realistic. That's not a realistic request.
Don, I think we need to do another. We need to do a live. Maybe this week we'll do it on the pixie cut.
Okay.
And I was talking to Tony about this, and she was like, "They be talking like pixie cut, like K-tips. It's like K-tips is infusions that's been around over 30 years, if not more." Right? And the pixie cut. The new thing is the pixie cut. Oh, get my hair cut short, get it white, or get it blonde, because you were talking about that. And then they do the finger waves in it. And now they're like, they charge $500. I had made a comment. I think I was telling you about it. I was like, you looking at the person, she not spending no $500. She looked online on YouTube University, and she said, I could do that color. And when she did the color, she said, she was at a level 2, and she took it to a 10. Then after she took it to a 10, she was like, I bleached my hair 2 times. And she was showing all these over-the-counter trash products. And at the end, I was like, let me see what the comments saying. Girl, you did that. She did what? She had a green cast on her hair. Her gum, you know, when the hair gets gummy, when it's over processed, it gets gummy. And then she did the thing. I said, that's all she will be able to do. I said, I had to comment. I said, as time goes on, your hair, it will shed. It may not have all fallen out today, but as time goes on, your hair will continue to shed because you have over processed it. And when the hair dries, and I was looking at it, just it had lost life. It was just limp. But the sad part, and she said, and then once I get it to that color, she used some purple, the toner, right? And then she said, I put the Hawaiian silk in it to lay it down even flatter. That's what we got. I said, that's what we have. So that's the new trend that I noticed people are going about saying they're, let me show you how to do a pixie cut. And then when you look at the pixie cut, Don, it's not even a pixie cut. They don't even know how. I'm like, that's not even a pixie cut. You can't do a pixie cut. And these are, I'm sure, the girl that I saw, and she was like, I'm going to teach y'all just how she was like, I'm going to teach you guys how to do the pixie cut. And I'm looking at her hair, and she took it all out. She just took it straight out, and she was cutting and cutting. And I realized, I said, that's what they do even with the lace fronts. They just take the razor and keep till it gets the feathers, and they say, okay, now let me curl it. But if you actually straighten the hair out, that's something. Remember when we had to do haircuts and they say, okay, turn the mannequin head over. If that head, if it didn't fall, if it was a bob or what we call that?
That's how you check the haircut.
Yeah, check the haircut. That's the way we can check it. I said, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's no way. That's just not it. So again, because we have people like that, that's advertising, say, I'm gonna do a class on it. That's advertising that. Guess what happens? You got people saying, well, I wouldn't pay that price. And I'm okay with that because you wouldn't be my client anyway. So when I look at it, it's more for me to explain to you guys, it's a difference. And it's not a look down. It's just a difference in class. It's a difference in the mindset. Because, and it has nothing to do with, if you're living in the hood. No, it don't have anything to do with the hood. I know plenty of people, including, that came from the hood and are very successful. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the mindset, and it has to do with how you see yourself and how much you value yourself. I hear women saying, oh no, honey, I'm gonna go down there. They got the weave on sale for $10, and they got wigs on synthetic wigs for $10. I'm gonna go down there and get me a wig because I'm not paying all that money. But then you'll go and get a crab boil every other day. That's a new thing. Seafood bowl, crab boil, or whatever. Y'all go get that. I'm like Don said, it's what you value. All right. Now I'm going to show two more, and then I'm going to let you guys go. All right. And this is another thing we were talking about the image of our women as well. I'm going to let you watch this one. Hold on. For the lace front queens.
Today I'm doing a facelift install. I'll walk you through everything, guys. So I'm using my Super Gripper tape. It's Stronghold, guys. It's not like the regular one. This one grips for real, okay? And it will pull. Just look at her face and the way I'm pulling it. Yes, if you're wondering, we do sell the tape. We have it in a 36 yards. Yes, and this is what it looks like when you take off the cover. Can you see the grip, guys? So I'm just demonstrating on how to take off the cover. It's super easy. You just pull it with a tweezer and take it off just like that. And after, we're going in with another coat of the gripper glue because we have to sandwich the tape. That's how we do it. Please give it a thin layer of glue. And this is what our Super Gripper tape is looking like. And this is the gripper glue. Just showing you how strong the gripper glue is. Once you lay the lace, there's no way you're gonna move it. And we're about to move the white line with our magic gel. Yes. And once you rub it out, oh my God, it starts melting already. You tie it down and that's it. Look at that, guys. And ooh, look at my doll. She's looking so gorgeous, classy. Guys, she wanted some curls and I delivered. She was so satisfied. And that makes me so happy, guys.
It doesn't require much skill to do this particular hairstyle. She didn't do anything to preserve this young lady's hair. What she did is, she's not a stylist, she's a wig installer. This is what you call a wig installer. This is the tape, which you can see. Okay, she placed it on her skin, but she still has hair there. Okay, so she still has hair along her frontal hairline area. So she took the tape, which you can tell how strong the tape is because it literally allows you to give yourself a facelift. Now I lift your skin and attach it back to the cap, right? Now I'm gonna put a layer of glue on your skin, your hair, in order to marry this wig onto your scalp. So the process itself, none of this is protecting your hair, none of it. So this whole entire process is damaging your hair, but the consumer doesn't care because the end result is this cookie cutter, what do you call it? Cookie cutter false illusion of a Barbie. Because that's what she envisioned. That's what's beautiful to her. That's what the men like, or whomever. That's what makes her feel beautiful, right? It's not a realistic hairstyle. Okay, it is just that, a wig. So we have to understand as stylists what is going on here. I don't consider her a high value client because she doesn't value her hair. She doesn't value her hair. This is a client that values materialistic
Trend.
the aesthetics as opposed to internal healing or internal beauty, because she's actually beautiful. She's a beautiful girl.
Yep.
She has nice hair. From what I can see under the scalp, she has hair. So can she color her own hair and create a style that may not be as long, or can she create the color and a pixie? You know what I'm saying? Something that will support her individual style as opposed to this cookie cutter look.
That's good. The first thing is the tape is geotape. It's just in size. It's called geotape that we use in the hair loss. Second thing is, again,
one minute. But you use it in the hair loss. That means the client is already experiencing hair loss.
That's what I was getting to, Dawn.
Yes.
I was pointing out the fact that, let's go back to when Dawn talked about cosmetic hair. Lace fronts is cosmetic. They use lace front, and they have another one. It's pure polyurethane. It's one that they use in lace fronts as well in movies. Actors use this. That's why I tell you all the time, a lot of you who are addicted to these lace fronts and these wigs are walking around with costumes. You're wearing a costume. Those people, John Travolta, if you go back and you look at, trying to think of the movie, John Travolta, Bernie Mac, all these different people, those were lace fronts. Those were systems. The most you can wear it, and they have a time frame, the most you can wear it is 3 days. Y'all trying for 3 months. So that lady took her hairline, and I never heard, this is a new one, Dawn, the trend is, what is it, a facelift? You get a facelift. So the facelift really is traction alopecia in the making. I'm going to
Yes.
take this tape, I'm going to put it on the hairline where your hair is, and I'm going to pull it up. And she was so proud of it, right?
Yes.
Pull this up. I'm going to add tension. And not only am I going to do that, I'm going to go right back in and I'm going to add alcohol after alcohol after alcohol. What is the adhesive? What is that? Is that a medical? Is that a hospital medical adhesive? Or is that the adhesive, the newest adhesive that holds your head and you can wear that lace front for at least a month? That's the difference. And Don, you pointed out, that's the difference between, in that situation, look at the hairstyle. Would you call that a necessity or a luxury? I don't know what to call that, but I can tell you one thing I can call it: bad practice. And another thing I can tell you, she will be, if she continue with that service, when she take that out of her hair, because now I'm just thinking about it, the hair is sealed under there. It's like she put the tape on, so it's sealed under there. So when she take that lace front off, I guarantee you she's gonna see those white bulbs if it don't pull up off of it.
Traction alopecia.
Her putting that tape and pulling her hairline back, that's the new thing. And guess what? Somebody, it's more people that are doing that now. They're like, well, what is it called? Lace front. Oh yeah, girl, you can pull a face back. If you older lady, you're like, yeah, pull my face back. Like that's a trend. So when you say why we got to pay those prices, that's to those type of hairstylists, and that's those type of clients. So if that's you put yourself where you need to be at. No hair care. And let me tell you something. One of my favorite movies that I may watch once a month is what's the lady, Don? The First Millionaire.
Madam C.J. Walker.
I just watched her yesterday. I just watched the series. I think it's like four series. It's like in 4 tapings or whatever. And Madam C.J. Walker took the lady who came in and helped her because she was in an abusive relationship. The man had left her and she was just done. She looked like she was at the end. If any of you ever watch it, it's on Netflix. And she was at her wit's end. And then this lady came in. I think it's Maddie came in, and Maddie was like, she took her and changed her image. She made her love herself. She was a heavy set woman, but she brought out the beauty. She showed that woman that was lost, that was in a bad situation. She showed her beauty. Now, when you see them, once she got into herself, I think she was going to her for years. She said, well, let me sell your product. But Maddie was high yellow, and Maddie was like, oh, no, nobody gonna buy a product from you. But Madam C.J. Walker was like, I can sell. She can sell. She believed, you know why? Because she believed in the product. The product grew her hair. So they had all the fancy hairstyles. This is why I love the movie so much. They had all these fancy hairstyles. I love the fact that she was in a Guinness Book of World Record too, for being the first woman, not black, but woman millionaire. All right. But the whole premises of her believing in the product and selling the product and having all these hundreds of thousands of women, black women, believing in themselves, believing in their beauty, taking value into themselves, investing in themselves. The premise of it was hair care. At the end, because they was battling, and Maddie was like, you know, she was like, Maddie was following her, whatever city she was in. It was Madam C.J. Walker, and Madam C.J. Walker made a name for herself. She got a house. She's like, we need a mansion. She was next door to Rockefeller, right? And at the end, Maddie had a spy in Madam C.J. Walker thing, and she said, I know what you've been doing. You stole my product. So at the end, when Madam C.J. Walker knew she was dying, and they had this one-on-one together, they ran into each other and they were arguing, and she said, what does it matter? The women are getting their hair, they're caring about their hair, and they loving themselves. Like, that was the point. And I think that that's the mindset, especially in our community as Black women, that we have to understand, because we're the ones that are leading in traction alopecia and bad practices, like what I'm showing you. And if you come into a salon, right, or you come to a hairstylist, a licensed cosmetologist or hairstylist, and their foundation is not about your hair care, and you sit in that chair anyway, that's on you. That is on you. Because becoming a cosmetologist, the whole point of it was that I loved, and the reason why I got into hair loss was because there were women in in different organizations. They were leading, they were CEOs, but they were experiencing hair loss, and I didn't know how to help them. I was trying to figure out, how do I get their hair back? Why is she losing her hair? Then I found out it was a number of reasons why we're losing our hair. It could be medical, it could be traction, but the people that I was dealing with, the women, it was actually medical, and they were Black women. So that's how I got into Hair Club. But for you ladies to get on social media and complain about pricing, you complain about pricing, but you don't complain about the hair care. You don't care about your hair. You care more about the price and how long the hairstyle can last than the value that you hold inside. If we understood who we are as a people, and we really understood it, I don't think a lot of you will be doing the things that you're doing. But because a lot of us don't know their worth, and I put myself in it because there was a time I didn't know my worth. Because you don't know your worth, you go for anything. You don't care. You live for today and forget about tomorrow. And a lot of us are making short-term decisions that will affect you a lifetime. Now, that same young lady that's in the chair and looking pretty, like Don said, there will come a time when she gets older. And if she continues going to that lady or whoever and addicted to the weave and the lace front and all those different things, she continues, she will be on here asking questions about how to restore her hair. Yeah. That's just my take on it. So Keisha said, I thought about you the other day, Coach Lee, when I saw my local news and heard Tuskegee University banned bonnets. And then it went viral, said, oh, shucks, here we go. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and that's crazy. Like, you would leave the house. I saw some video and the guy was like, you don't care how you look, huh? She had a nice little body too. And he was like playing with her. But I said, he playing with her, but she really don't care how she looks. She just came out looking like whatever. It's taken me, this is at Diversity One Gift 778. It's taken me a while to be out of work for my hair to regain its luster. Yes, medical reasons are going to healthy though. Good. I'm really happy to hear that. And this is the last video, guys, and we're gonna let you go. All right. I appreciate you. Don?
Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure you was alive. Here we go.
You know, I asked the question, what do people think a sew-in install should cost? And the truth of the matter is, you're not just paying for hours in the chair, you're paying for a professional service. And when you break that down, you'll realize that a sew-in isn't just a quick braid and stitch, it's strategy, it's braiding, it's sectioning, it's blending, and it's ensuring that your natural hair is protected underneath the install while also seamlessly looking like yours. And it takes a lot of continued education and years of experience to protect that method in particular. And then there's the part that you don't see, the merchant fees, product fees, cleanup, insurance, rent, all of the overhead that goes into why something costs what it does. So yeah, you might see on the front end that a sew-in might be $400, $500, or whatever the hairstylist may charge, but what you don't see is all of the things that have to be paid from that money that the hairstylist doesn't see. So if someone like this comment is charging $150 or $275 max, you're not really seeing much of a profit, and to be honest with you, I don't know how you're paying your bills and then paying yourself. And then there's the part that people forget. There used to be a time where we had clear tiers in this industry: junior stylists, senior stylists, and master stylists. In that time and that era, pricing was contingent upon experience, expertise, and results. Nowadays with social media, so many people just hop on and they scroll and they figure out who it is that they want to go to. So it blurs the lines a bit, and you don't know who's truly mastered the craft and who's mastered marketing. But those tiers do still exist, and so does consistency and skill. So yes, you may see installs ranging from $100 upwards into $1,000. And the question isn't necessarily why is it so much, more than it is who is the person doing my hair, what's included, and will I have the results that I'm seeking in the end. I am a firm believer that hair is an investment. I invest in my own hair. I do believe that quality is not a shortcut. You have to look for someone who has mastered the skill and takes pride in their work as well. So I hope that kind of answers a little bit of the how much that sew-ins cost question. I do also believe that people should go and do things that work in their price range. But if something is outside of your price range, let's learn not to demonize it and just maybe consider that there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that she said that there's something for everybody. There's some hairstylists that care about the care of your hair, and they're not as expensive. You find what fits you and you stay there. And then there are many of you that live in small towns. I have my clients that live in Carolinas, and they're in the suburbs and different things like that. And they have this one hairstylist, and she just give them whatever. And I told them, and I say it again, I say it all the time. Sometimes you have to drive away. Maybe your hairstylist is 45 minutes away, or maybe an hour, or maybe even a plane ride. Just depend on your budget, right? When it comes to your hair. To me, hair can be a necessity for many, and hair also can be a luxury. Some women don't know how to do their hair. They don't know how to wash and different things like that. And they would like to come in a chair, and they're willing to pay for it. They come in weekly and get the services. And then there are some women that luxury to me is the type of service that you're asking for. You know, is extensions. Is it a wedding? Pin or updos, you know, the hair design, different things like that. Those are luxuries. Those are not necessities. So that's how I define it. And it is based on the client and the hairstylist. And hold on, let me read this. And I got one thing to say. And then Don, you can have the floor if you got anything. Lord, Coach Lee done dropped the mic tonight. I feel empowered. I just wanted to say to you, I love doing the podcast. Sometimes I can't do it because, you know, we have other things going on, but I try to be as consistent as possible, even on Ask a Licensed Cosmetologist. But the reason, the fire that is in me to enlighten and educate, and Dawn as well, and that's why we connected, is the fact that I keep talking about your value. I can walk outside and I look at a woman dragging her foot, got a nice little shape, cute face, hair sticking up or whatever, and her value. She doesn't understand her value. The Bible says we are part of a royal priesthood. So a lot of us are trying to look like others, and others are trying to look like us. And the reason why we're trying to look like others, because we don't know who we are. We look for that validation in relationships, a man. We look for validation from all of that, when everything that you need is within inside of you. And you can watch as many podcasts, you can go to church, or you can do all those things or whatever. But until you start working on yourself, by yourself, you will never find the happiness or the validation that you're looking for. You will be one of those people that just keep wandering around in life because you never understood your value. And so that's what I love about hair, is standing behind a chair when I was and taking care of a woman that just went through hell, probably had a baby, lost a baby, got a disabled child at home, and she finally got somebody to watch the kids so she can get her hair done. And then you make them, you beautify them. And they say, what they in the mirror, when they look at, they say, oh, and they feel good about themselves. Guess what that is? They're finding their value. Oh, I got to do this again. That's the mindset that we have. But instead, we're into the trend and we're trying to look like everybody else when everybody want what we have. You're point blank. So, Dawn, do you have anything else to say before I go ahead and release this?
Value attracts value, and you should keep that in mind as you move about. And it's not immaterial thing. It's the soul and the integrity of the person. Like when I go in and have my nails done, I look at the salon, the quality of service, the staff. Are they done in a timely and efficient manner? And people of high value, they value their time. They don't select services that take up their time. If you ever notice that. And if your high value clients live and act a certain way. And when you focus on a high value client, your life and your lifestyle will then improve. A lot of times we say, well, oh no, I need to get the money in. So we focus on the $50 client. Whereas the $50 client you're gonna be doing a lot more work as opposed to the $200 client. You're gonna have to do 4 people at $50 to get one client at the $200 ticket point. And if we look at it as, let me focus on the high value client, like Louis Vuitton has never had a sale. I don't know if Gucci has ever had a sale.
No.
Certain brands never ever have a sale.
Rolls
You know what I
Royce?
mean? Yeah. So when you have value, people pay for it. That's just the bottom line. I remember one time, this person was like, "Oh, I'm not into cars. I really don't care about the type of car I have, right?" But when this other person had a nice car, they wanted to drive the other person's car, and they wanted them to drive their car, right? But they just had like a normal car, and this other person had a luxury vehicle. But they were saying, cars don't really matter to me.
Right.
But if it doesn't matter, why do you want to drive the luxury vehicle? Right? Why not drive your vehicle? There's nothing wrong with it. So people value, they know what they value, right? I want the Louis Vuitton bag. Okay. They can't afford the Louis Vuitton bag. So that's why they was buying all the stuff on Canal Street. All the imitation bags, right? You don't want the bag, but you'll pay for a fake bag. You'll buy a fake bag. So you do value nice things. You just don't want to pay for it. So that's the same way I look at things when people when they give me a story as to life challenges and issues, and as to look, I don't know how you can put a value on my service. You can't put a value on my service, right? But the public think they can put a value on your service. Like, how dare you charge what you charge for a sew-in or for a install? How dare you, right? How dare you request me? How dare you devalue me? How dare you? What make you think that you're such of high value that I don't deserve to be paid? Who are you?
Right.
Like who are you? So you have to stop and think, do I really want this person as a client? Because they don't value me. You understand what I'm saying? They don't see the value in what it is that I am offering. And when people don't see your value, you don't have to service them. It's just that simple. Let them go find the value that they see fit for themselves. Allow them to go find it elsewhere, because my value is here.
That's right.
Because I put in the work. Right? Right. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna get your scalp clean, right? You're not. I'm gonna remove all debris from your scalp. The price is the price, because I'm going in and I'm going to clean. I'm going to detox, and I'm going to bring your health up to status. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for me to bring your health up to status, because right now you're not healthy, because your scalp has not been cleaned in 8 months, right? 30 days or whatever amount of time, right? So you can't devalue me. You can't place me at a lower standards, and you're not even willing to shampoo your own hair. How dare you, right? So you have to think about those things when the consumer is there to devalue you as to why you charge what you charge.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with Beauty Pioneers. I pray that this video, these lives have blessed you, inspire you, and you like it, you share the video. We love doing what we do here. This is real fun for us to talk. It's like talking to our girlfriends. We just need a glass of wine. Otherwise, we will see you next week, Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Beauty Pioneers. All right. Love you. Mean it. Smooches.